Getting a little prepared. We're going to go on air. I think I might be on air now. So hi there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and berries. This is Magic Brad here on Synergy Cafe. You got your beverage of choice. I've got mine. So we've got a very interesting guest that's going to be on. And as soon as I saw her name, I was intrigued. But I'm going to keep it a secret, and we'll get the show on the road. So stand by.
Greetings, Internet friends. Welcome to another episode of the Synergy Cafe online show, featuring speaker, entertainer, close-up illusionist, and marketing alchemist, Magic Brad. It's the Internet lifestyle show about career, finance, relationships, spirituality, and wellness. We're moving the online chatter over to real-life activity. And now, please welcome your host of Synergy Cafe, Magic Brad.
Hey, here we go. Now, this is, like I said, this is a very interesting named person. I've never heard this name before, and she is a mindset coach, which is always fascinating to me because of the magic thing. I'm interested in the magic thing. What is real? What's real inside your head? And mindset happens to be about what's your self-talk? You're talking to yourself, and are you using valid information, or are you using lies? So let's bring her on to the stage. Here's the one and only. Her name is Cappi Pidwell. Hello.
Hello, Brad. Thank you so much for having me today.
Absolutely. This is wonderful. Where were you located? I forgot. California?
I'm in California.
Yeah. I saw that.
Orange County.
Where's that?
Orange County, California.
Okay, yeah, because I got a friend that lives down in Temecula.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was down there for a couple of years. We helped him with some martial arts events when I was in Covina, Glendora, and then I spent a year over in Studio City, Burbank area, working on a magic infomercial.
Oh, how fun.
It was one of the funnest times of my life.
Oh, that's awesome.
Let's talk about you. You're down there. How long you been there, living there?
Oh, I've lived here for quite some time. It's funny that you say Glendora, Covina. I'm from Chicago, moved to Covina, grew up there, and then I've been in Orange County for 30 years at least. Yeah.
Okay. So you're married and got kids and all that stuff?
I am not married. I do have 2 grown daughters. Was married and not married anymore.
Still got 2 grown daughters.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a challenge for you?
I was a single mom. I grew my business as a single mom and was married many years and got a divorce when my kids were 5 and 1. So I basically raised 2 incredible women and built a company at the same time. So yeah, it was a lot of work. Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounds like magic in and of itself.
Really. And honestly, it is. I couldn't be more proud of both of them.
I don't know how you ladies do that. I got a friend here that she just had her 7th. And how do you take care of 1?
2 was hard enough. 2 was enough. I can't imagine 7. I'm the 5th of 6 kids, though, so my mom did that. So yeah, I stopped at 2.
So let's jump right into your business and your mindset thing, because I've always been fascinated by that, and it's like I like to talk to other people, and this whole COVID thing made everybody stay home, and then I'm doing my own solo thing, and I end up doing my work, and then I ask myself questions and I give myself answers, and they're not good answers because I'm talking to my subconscious or the lies and stuff. So you help people. How do you help people with mindset? How do you shift a mind?
Well, thank you for asking, because, I find that we are taught so many topics, how to make money, how to grow a business, how to market, how. And yet I find the biggest missing component is the individual's inner objections. Like, we can go online today and learn everything and anything. We're on information overload today. However, to get the real internal change that a person is typically seeking, we are not educated on the steps to change. So people have taught us strategies and solutions that were available for years, like set your goals and do a vision board. And, then that's great. I'm not saying don't do that, affirmations, but I love the subconscious, because when you really start to understand your internal programming, if you will. What apps are driving your decisions? What beliefs, I call them. They're just like an app on a phone. It's just like a computer. How is it programmed? Is it programmed to lack? Is it programmed to worry? Is it programmed to stress, fear, or doubt? Or is it programmed to ease and flow and effortlessness? And no matter what I do, whatever I put my attention and intention on, it always works out magically for me, right? So it depends on what you're thinking. I often say the universe is like a mirror. It will simply just continuously reflect back to that inner energy. But we're, in the spiritual realm today, thank goodness, we are getting more open and receptive to deeper layers of learning, I call it, right?
Sure.
So we have the conscious mind, we have the subconscious, then we have the spirit, then we have our soul self, right? So to simplify things, I like to educate people on how the mind really works and keep it so simple to create the steps for people so that they can get the outcomes they want.
Well, we've only been talking for a couple of minutes, and I already had an epiphany with
Oh,
the way
let's
that
hear
you're
it.
talking. Well, all the stuff that you can go read all those books and everything. You can learn all this stuff. You can go to, our friend Tony Robbins. You can go and a date with destiny kind of thing. But if you're screwed up and you're learning wrong, if you're thinking wrong, you're learning what he's trying to teach, and you're learning it wrong because you're
Well,
thinking.
you might be learning it on top of limiting beliefs,
Yeah, that's what
or
I
like,
mean.
sometimes people will say to me, well, does this really work? I'm like, your mind works if you know how to work it, right? That's like, opening a brand new computer and saying, does the computer work? Well, if there's no programs on it, and there's nothing, and you don't pick it up and turn it on and use the keys, it's not going to work. So it's the same thing. You have to understand that, at the latest research, and I'm always following the latest of everything with mindset, is the subconscious mind. And I don't know how they determine this, but they've determined that the subconscious mind is 1,000,000 times more effective as an information processor than the conscious mind is. So how I like to explain this to keep it simple, Brad, is, and I have a book called The Mindset Code, and that's chapter 1 is like, pick a topic and just work on one topic at a time. So if somebody wants to make money, work on that topic. If you want to lose weight, work on that. If you want to have a relationship or improve your health, don't try to do everything at once. Pick a priority. So if it's, let's just call it money, I help a lot of people with their money mindset. So whatever that topic is, but the book, you can pick any, and then you work through the chapters on that topic. So I would tell anyone to do the same. So in chapter 2, I talk about the mind, and I do this on stages. I speak all over, and I say, think of like an apple or a circle. And if you pie out 5 to 10% of that, that is your conscious mind. And we've all heard that we only use 5 to 10%. We use it all, but the 90% of the subconscious, beating your heart, breathing your body, blinking my eyes, moving my hands, right? I'm not having to think about those things. So because the subconscious is 1,000,000 times more effective as an information processor, I tell people we're not learning there. We're trying to learn in the 5 to 10% and pile information on top of old beliefs that all live in the subconscious mind. They all live in that 90%. So how do we get there? How do we make those interchanges? And that is the work. I mean, there is a process to be able to delete and distort those limitations. But you have to remember, sometimes people have had that same belief or that lack or that worry or whatever it is about their body, whatever, for 40, 50 years sometimes.
Well, I think that, like you talked about the subconscious being so much bigger than the conscious. I think it's because our conscious is basically our hard drive brain,
Yeah.
whereas the subconscious is the infinite universe.
Yes.
So
Yes.
much more stuff. If you can kind of get out of your logic and get into the ethers of things, it can be so much bigger. This is your website where people can learn about that book, right?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
CAPPIPIDWELL.com. Perfecto.
Thank you. Yeah. So you're absolutely right. I don't think of the subconscious as just the mind. I think about our whole self, right? Like my toe, I often say, when I'm speaking, don't think about your right toe, right? Don't move your right toe, right? What happens? You start thinking or moving it. And it's because we're connected, but people live up here. They're just in their head thinking, analyzing. I call it analysis paralysis, right?
Yeah.
And yet when I start to bring a person into a session, or we start, doing the subconscious work, the minute they start to feel and connect to themselves, right? Because we're up here, most people. That's when you really open up your heart, your energy. You start moving old energies and beliefs to and through you, out of you, if you will. And that is the process. I mean, I make sessions, I create products and programs for the subconscious because it's challenging for people to try to do this themselves. So
It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
It's almost
It really
impossible. I was
is.
just thinking about that as you're talking, and I was going to say that the value in having someone like yourself to be able to ask the right questions, because if you do an affirmation,
Mhm.
I got someone that she changed it to ask formations.
Okay, that's cute.
Because if you do an affirmation and go, I am a millionaire, there's that
Mhm.
thing in your head going, no, you're not.
Right. That's
If
right.
you say, why am I a millionaire? Your brain
Mhm.
goes, why am I? Well,
Mhm.
because I have the potential.
Right.
You would ask those questions when a person is in denial. You can kind of get them out of that by asking, so how does that serve you? And it's like,
Right.
all of a sudden, then the neurons start. But only someone like yourself that's trained in all this knows how to ask the right questions and redirect all that stuff. This is
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what I learned in sitting in front of thousands of people, I've been doing this for 30 years now, is when I make all my programs, I make workbooks with them. I say, buy me in a box, because those questions and those inquiries to what is stored in my subconscious first. If people don't know what's stored, that's like going in the garage and seeing hundreds of boxes and you need to clean them, but you just leave them there. That's kind of how the mind is.
Yeah.
You have to know what's in there to organize it, clear it out, get rid of the clutter to put new boxes in, if you
Let
will.
me share a quick story of I had worked with a guy doing breath work,
Okay.
and I was going through these issues. I couldn't really figure out what the heck they were. And it was about like feeling abandoned.
Okay.
Like
Mhm.
when if we're at a meeting and someone leaves before I want to leave, I feel like, hey, where are you going? I couldn't
Got
figure
it.
out what the heck's that all about when
Okay.
my wife decides to go out with the girls. It wasn't a jealousy thing. It was kind of like you're leaving me, and I couldn't
I
figure it
get
out.
it. Yep.
Well, we did this breath work thing, and when I woke out of it, it was like I was craving chocolate so
Interesting.
bad. I couldn't figure out what it was, and I had to stop and get a candy bar at the store and go beelining back to the grocery store. And there's this big 6-pack of nut goodies. I
Okay.
loved nut goodies when I was a kid, so I got this big 6-pack. I ate 4 of them before I got home. I ate them
Wow.
all up, craving
Interesting.
it. So what it turned out to be was my parents were alcoholic, and they would go out and
Mm,
leave little
mm,
Bradley at home
mm.
by himself. They would go out, and then they'd come back and they'd reward me with a
With
candy bar, nut
interest.
candy bar. So all of a
Wow.
sudden I had that aha, that's what it was. And so when I have that information, I can forgive them for they know not what they do. They
Yeah.
didn't know they were leaving a poor little kid. They were just going out to have some fun.
Right.
It's a
Right.
different mindset that I had to go through. And then the questioning that this gentleman brought on to me, like what you do,
Yeah.
you ask those questions, and all of a sudden you get this aha.
Mhm.
Now the issue is gone.
That's so awesome. I love hearing that because, people will spend their whole lives repeating those emotions,
Yeah.
right? And I often say, because we're not taught these types of things, we're taught all the how to external stuff. Everything begins within. I have a ton of famous quotes I've made up over the years, but I say, what you feel, you make real.
Mhm.
So if you feel happy, your outcomes, and I always say it's what you're coming from, not what you're going to, right? So if I'm coming from abundance, abundance is going to meet me. I'm going to run into people. I'm going to get referrals. I'm going to get opportunities. But if I'm coming from lack, going, oh, I just want more money, or I just want a relationship, whatever the thing is, right? But I always tell people, if your energy isn't clear and you're walking around with a lot of these emotional traumas, but again, we are not taught how to release those things. So you were with somebody that helped you release that. And that is so important. So when we can peel through those layers, I mean, I do this for a living now, but guess what? I started out having to release all my own stuff, just, just like all of us.
Yeah,
So
it's birth basically, and then it goes
yes,
into, you established your thing, like money doesn't grow on trees.
yep,
Close the door. You're born in a barn.
exactly.
All that stuff
And
is in my head.
from 0 to 8, 80% of our subconscious is programmed.
Right. And that's a layer that you got to get into. And you think about it, just a sentence can change things.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, money doesn't grow on trees. So now that's ingrained in my head. That's just one little sentence. Imagine everything from 0 to 8, all the conversation that a person had. So if you've got issues and stuff, you need to go check out you.
Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a fascinating thing, the whole mindset thing. Because I'm definitely an abundance kind of guy. Do you know Paul Sheely?
Mm-mm.
He's a local guy here, and he does hypnosis and mindset.
Okay.
Stuff. It's about how the brain works.
Nice.
And he's got a thing called abundance for life.
Nice.
We live in an abundant world. I mean, there's an infinite amount of opportunities, especially with access to the internet. You can tap into anything. So as soon as you think, I can't, it's like, what? You can't? What do you mean you can't?
Yeah.
If you don't have a phone, go to the library.
Right. Right. It's true. But I think that, again, that programming it just gets on a loop for people. Right. And so to get off that, I call it the treadmill of trying. To get off the treadmill of trying, you really need to do work. And that's what I tell people. You don't have to, but if you're not getting the outcome you want, I guarantee there's something internally that's driving those decisions. If we make approximately 80,000 decisions in a day, those decisions are all coming from our past programs. So if somebody wants to create something and they're looking at a vision board, or like you say, I mean, look at the statistics with lottery winners. I mean, most lottery winners get millions and think, oh, I'm going to get all this money. And then they end up bankrupt within 5 years, or they end up investing their money bad because they don't have a rich money mindset. They don't know what to do with the money. I mean, the statistics are crazy with how many people end up miserable after
invest in a Lamborghini.
Yeah, well, they don't have a consciousness of that level of life. So yeah, it doesn't match, right? So the work should start here, and then the reflection of the thing you want. I'm coaching some clients right now. They own a bunch of businesses. They have 5 offices in a company, and they've been going through some stress and COVID and blah, blah, blah when it hit. Now they're bounced back, but they're not where they were, that whole story, which a lot of people can probably relate to. But the bottom line is, you don't want to build a business from that lack or that scarcity or that fear. And it's not going to be what it was. What if it was 10 times better? Right. And they're like, we didn't even think of that. And I'm like, let me show you how. Right. So I do a lot of, speaking, and I make corporate products for companies and coach, salespeople and that type of thing. So anyway, we're reframing their whole business model, and it's really exciting for people to create like that.
Do you do a lot of stuff in the corporate world, of corporate mindset shift?
I do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And I also watched one of your videos where you were addressing meeting planners and stuff. And part of that would be for speaking. Yeah. But it could also be for more, I guess, not so much speaking. I don't exactly know how to explain.
A lot of times when I'll speak into a company, or I'll go to an audience or whatever, I end up meeting with the owner or the manager or whatever. And then, a lot of times it will lead into, let me show you what I could do for your team, your salespeople, or your inside staff.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at. It's not a rah, make your life better thing. It's like, hey, how can we do a mindset shift for the trade show exhibit group?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Everybody has a mindset.
You want to come up to Minnesota and speak?
Yeah, I'd love to.
In the summer, right? Not the winter.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's good to start throwing some seeds out there, do something down in Southern California.
We'll connect offline, because I'm sure there's some connections I can share with you as well.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
So what's the next question?
You ask me. I don't know. You tell me. We've
only been going for about 19 minutes, so maybe a few more.
Okay.
You You had mentioned that you've got a book, but do you have something like that's on your website that people can maybe, because a lot of times they give you this little freebie so people can kind of dip their toe in the water and see if they like it.
Yes, I do have a free, it's like a download PDF workbook on my website, and it is very powerful, and it helps you ask yourself the questions of what's stored in your mindset, and it's about money and success. So those are primarily where I help people the most. I work with entrepreneurs, high level business executives, company owners, that type of thing. And I help them really get their mindset and their systems in place. And then if we then trickle down into the sales teams or the internal teams and stuff like that, I make different products for the companies. So yeah, I coach. I'm not your typical hypnotherapist. I don't sit in an office anymore and do one-on-one sessions. I did that for over 20 years. And then when I started speaking many, many years ago, I really got into the product world in probably around 2000, before the internet was super big. And of course, I had the CDs and the workbooks and all that. So I started selling programs, and I made a program called Mental Money Mastery, which is a game changer for people with money. And I've sold thousands of them, and it's still the same system on my website now. Of course, it's all digitally download. And I haven't changed the price for years. I think it's still $697. And that thing has made people so much money. So that got me on a lot of stages talking about, it's called Mental Money Mastery.
M&M, like 3M.
M&M, yeah, MMM, yeah. So that system really was a game changer for a lot of lives, including myself. And then as I started teaching people about their money mindset and how to enrich it and get rid of the lack and the worry and the fear and all the stuff we talk about, I say, you buy me in a box, and then it's only $697 versus if you work with me or you hire me, it's obviously a lot more. And then I started helping so many people, and companies and salespeople started calling me, that I thought, why don't I duplicate the model and create products and systems for companies? So then I started making them, systems for their companies with their problems. I'm working with a giant global company right now that I'm this close to signing that contract to be their mindset coach. So it's, taken a lot of years to get to that level of, production and products. But that's really what I focus on now, is I can help more people that way. I can do a Zoom like you've invited me to today, or not a Zoom, but a podcast or what have you. And then people get to listen to it and get the value that they want to get out of it. If it speaks to them, great. If not, that's okay too. But I think mindset is a very important thing for people to work on in addition to the external game. So I say there's an internal game and there's an external, but so many people are outside focused. And when you close your eyes and you go into yourself and your soul and your heart and your system, really, your brain, your body, and I talk to every single part as I'm working with somebody. You come out of that like you did, like with that guy. But I record the products, right? So people listen to them on their phone and stuff. People come out and they are like blown away. They're like, what did you just do? And I'm like, we had to clear all that stuff out of there, right?
So a lot of aha moments, huh?
Yeah, to get that new data so that you feel better, you think better, you behave better. And it's magical. I love hypnosis. It's magical. Really, it is.
It's real game changer, so to speak.
Big game changer.
Well,
Yeah.
Cappi, I'm going to put you into the green room, but I appreciate you taking the time. Is there a nugget you want to leave us with before you disappear?
I tell everybody, if you have nothing else, you always have this. Take at least 3 minutes a day in the morning and just either turn on some soft music, go to God, go to source, go to the universe, whatever you do, and always set an intention for your day. And your day will unfold so much better versus getting up and grabbing your phone or, running, whatever. Like, spend a few minutes with yourself every single day. And of course,
tune the radio in, right?
Yeah. And go to my website. I also have a free Facebook group that I have people. It's called Mindset with Cappi. It's on Facebook. They can join for free. And I do videos and I do lives in there and stuff just to help people. Yeah.
Well, very cool. Well, there you have it. Cappi Pidwell. I'm going to put you in the green room. There's some digital hors d'oeuvres back there. Feel free to fill your purse full of them. And if you want to stick around, we could have a little conversation after.
Thank you so much, Brad. I really appreciate being here with you.
Take care.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. Cappi Pidwell right there. Isn't that a cool name? I've never heard that name. I love it. So let me throw a little graphic up here so you can see what she's all about. There it is. Dun, dun, dun. For real results in increasing your success, money, sales mindset. That's what it's all about. She's got some dip your toe in the water free stuff to check her out. So I appreciate you taking the time here on Synergy Cafe. Tune in next time. I think I got 3 of these things I'm doing tomorrow. So peace, love, and happiness. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be good, be kind, be nice. Did I say be nice? Be nice. Bye.